Kia ora, my name is Tim Ponting and I'm the Chief Executive of the New Zealand Centre of Digital Excellence, half of which is here at PAX today.
How many devs have you brought over with you guys?
So the cohort's around 40 people and there's 8 teams represented in the games behind us on the show floor. We're really excited to be able to come here after last year was cancelled.
We were just talking a bit behind the camera about the amount of numbers. How many people have you seen come through the booth? And what's the general consensus about the games been?
It's been a huge number of people. It must be the biggest PAX ever. The feedback has been amazing. We had high hopes for like 3 or 4 of the games here, but the brilliant news has been all of the games have gone down well. Everything has gone down really well. So we're very pleased and proud of all the hard work that's gone in from the teams here.
What are the games that you actually have on display here today?
So we have 8 games here today. Under the Tavern, dungeon crawler, alcohol themed, very silly, great fun. A team of 2 guys from Dunedin making that. We have Abiotic Factor, which is a kind of homage really to games of the late 90s. I won't mention any specific game, but if you go check it out, you'll know exactly which game we're talking about.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah, pretty obvious. But it's built in UE5, modern survival crafting mechanics. So you have to brain your way out. You're a bunch of scientists locked in a kind of dimensional experiment that's gone wrong. We have a game called Torua, which is about an albatross making its way home to Tairoa Head, which is also in Dunedin. That's a game with Māori cultural content. It's all in Māori and it features the Māori atua. Before We Leave, which is already out, which is a kind of city builder set in space, you know, with space whales. Awesome game. They're working on the sequel now. And then we have It's Only Money. It's been described as the game that Taika Waititi would have made if he was making GTA. Really off the wall, open world, kind of low life simulator. Everyone whose net worth is too low has been thrown down into the Undercity, and you venture out onto the streets and steal hot wire cars, shoplift. You're gradually building up your reserves of money to move the citizens out of the Undercity and back into the city where they belong, and you reclaim the city block by block from the evil mayor who has taken over. So that's an awesome game. You know, everything from running your own snail racing emporium, these awesome takedown missions where you're taking down the cronies of the mayor. So that's had a lot of publisher interest and we have very high hopes for that game. We've got Piki Miaui, which is a really interesting match 3 type game, but with a twist. What we love about it, the art style's fantastic. You have to keep this cat happy. We have Bustin', which is probably the only game here which is based entirely around the distribution of toilet rolls during the pandemic. Enormous fun, like Paperboy style gameplay. And then finally Blackheart. Blackheart is a very dark fantasy action RPG which tells the story of a dysfunctional royal family kind of at war with each other. Really interesting story, great team, beautiful art style.
Considering the scope of the titles and how many different genres and stuff like that, it might be confusing for some people watching what Code actually is, considering they might be thinking it's just a single dev. But really it's a bunch of devs brought under one umbrella. Can you give us more of an idea of what Code is actually about?
Code, to give you the boring bit, is a regional economic development initiative to build a sustainable game development ecosystem in Dunedin. What that actually means is we have some government money which we give out in the form of funding to studios. We build capabilities. All of the teams here, we help them with mentorship. We do a lot of business development work with them. We work very closely. I've been in the industry for 30 years. I've worked at places like Activision. V, who is the operations manager, has had 10 years in the industry here. So we're all about building studios, letting these young teams build, you know, the games that they've been dreaming about for years. And so far we've helped 16 studios into existence and created 80 jobs locally. So it's been a real success story in Aotearoa, New Zealand.
We're all about indies and all about supporting indies as much as we can as well. It's awesome to see something like this. We actually had a look at a bunch of the games, like the games that are here on stream, about a week before PAX. In terms of all the devs, what's your view about like having them shown on Twitch?
They'll be really positive about that. I mean, particularly It's Only Money, I think, is a gift for streaming. Most of these titles are going through betas very soon. So Abiotic Factor and It's Only Money, you'll be able to sign up and streamers will be able to come on board and play those games and show them to the audiences before they actually ship in early access. If you just Google New Zealand Centre of Digital Excellence or Games Made in Dunedin.
Where else can we find you?
CodeDunedin.nz. On Twitter, we're at code_NZ. We've got a great community as well. It's a good community Discord. We're pretty active on socials, so our Twitter feed's quite cool.